for the first time, I feel free to want, to desire. I know what I want, but I'm still a recovering Catholic. And there was other misunderstandings or whatever. But now I'm feeling like I want it all. And then I want more, and I want it now.
But here's the thing. You want all that you've asked for, and that's not it all. You want all that you've asked for, but you do not want it all now. For these reasons. First, you can't have it all now because you're not ready for it all now. And if things come to you that you're not ready for, you don't receive them, you don't recognize them, you don't see them. So you don't want it all now. Here's a better statement, and you're ready to know this. In these hours that we are together, you'll feel this settle into you. Here's a really vibrationally accurate statement to make to the universe. Universe, I want to be open and receptive to all that I'm ready to receive. And I want to savor and enjoy every delicious piece of it. So you're sitting down at a beautiful buffet. Let's say one of your favorite meals somewhere. Maybe it's a holiday meal. Maybe it's someplace in a special place. And as you sit down to eat, you would never say, now I will eat everything good that I will ever eat. Now. I'm going to eat it all now. And we know, we say this to you, and you can't even comprehend the importance of what we're saying because it's so ridiculous. Because you know that you wouldn't want to eat it all now, that you couldn't eat it all now. What you want to say is, oh, I'm open and ready and willing. And it is my intention to be a vibrational match as best I can to what's in my vortex so that I can receive the perfectly paced information that my inner being is sending to me. Because my inner being, oh, hear this, hear this, hear this. My inner being desires for me to be satisfied every step along the way. Not getting it all now in terms of manifestation, but being vibrationally open so that I'm feeling the flow in my being, so that I'm feeling the intelligence in my mind, so I'm savoring the idea of something wanted, and so I'm witnessing the universe that creates worlds, inspiring circumstances and events, and gathering cooperative components to me, for me, because of the value that I am. You see, that's what you want. You don't want some big lump sum inheritance. Here, sort that out. That's what it would feel like if you got it all now. Oh my God, it's so much. Where will I put it? How will I clean it? How will I enjoy it? It's too much. It's overwhelming to me. That's not the way your inner being loves you. Your inner being loves you by focusing up, by queuing up for you through the path of least resistance, which means through the path of what you're ready for. So if you say, I want it all now, what you must do is get ready for it all now. And how are you going to do that? You're just where you are, ready for what you're ready for and savoring that. But we will tell you this. The more moments that you're open and ready and receiving and conscious of your receiving, like you were with those warm spots on that street, consciously aware of your receiving, and then consciously witnessing the universal gathering of components as you watch things unfold in your life with appreciation and joy, the more you do that, then the faster pace that those experiences will come to you, until your feeling of satisfaction will be so complete and so supreme that every moment will feel to you as if you are getting it all now, because you're getting all that you've asked for, that you're vibrationally ready for, in perfect unfolding.
Can I put a time limit on it? It feels like time is running out.
And feel the limitation in the statement, I want it all now, because there is a time shortage consciousness going on that will keep you from being ready now. In other words, what you just said, we offered you, and we know that just because we said it doesn't mean you can know it and feel it completely, but you're pretty close. And then you said, well, can I put a time limit on it? As you introduced a little more resistance into it and watered down what we said. And then you said, I'm running out of time, as you put a little more resistance into it and watered down more of what we said. You came along with us as you listened to our words, got a little more ready and a little more ready and a little more ready, and then those words made you a little less ready and a little less ready and a little less ready. So we're happy, though, that you introduced time into this subject, because the way you speed anything is by clarifying your vibration. Think about what you know about the physics of your time and space, and how if something is moving, any object, downhill, that it is resistance and resistance only that slows it. And so everything that you want is flowing toward you, and your attitude about it, your feeling about it. And today you can hear this more clearly than we've ever said it before, because we are introducing a word that really makes sense to you. When you feel satisfied with what is now, you clear the field for more. When you feel dissatisfied right now, you block it all up and slow it all down. So you're not running out of time, but the attitude that you are slows things down. But you know what the feeling is? The feeling isn't about what you think it's about. It's not because you're not getting what you're wanting. It's that in this moment you're introducing resistance. You see, it doesn't matter. Oh, hear this. We like this so much. We'd like you to hear this so much. It does not matter how much resistance you have introduced into your equation over time. That is irrelevant. It does not matter at all. Because here and now you stand, and because of all that resistance that you introduced into the equation, you also introduced more asking. So your asking power is greater. Hear this. The more resistance you have fostered and gathered over time, the more asking you have put into your vortex. And so, see how it all balances out? Oh boy, I've got more in my vortex than anybody I know, because I've been ornery for more of my life. That is a true statement. So it's like pulling back a rubber band. The further back you pull it, the more resistance you put on it. When you stop doing it, the further it's going to fly off over there. Do you understand the physics of that? There isn't anything that has gone wrong with you having had a difficult childhood and having been indoctrinated maybe into ideas that weren't serving you. That's all right. And we want to say about it blah, 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 blah. Because that was then and this is now, and all of your power is now. So here you stand, yes, maybe like most people with some practiced resistance. But oh, baby, what a vortex of well-being you have also gathered, you see. There's a huge vortex that is calling you, and so now it only matters what you do now. It only matters how satisfied you are now and now and now. And so as you hear this, and we know you are, and you pay attention, Esther has been listening to us for a long time. She doesn't hear us so well under these conditions because there's a lot going on with her. She's in the receiving mode, and so she's not pondering it, although she does hear some of it. But when she listens back to the recording, that's when she really hears it. And you would have a hard time understanding the thousands upon thousands upon thousands of hours that Esther has spent listening and processing this material and applying as best as she can to her human experience the things that she's been learning from us. And after all of this learning, after all of this listening, after all of this understanding, just now Esther is catching herself in moments of dissatisfaction that she feels justified in having because something has happened that felt outside of her control, and as she observes it, she doesn't feel satisfied in it. Dissatisfaction slows everything down, and satisfaction speeds everything up. So if you feel like you're running out of time, it's not a good way to feel, but it's how you feel. You can't help how you feel, so it's how you feel. So for now, you're slowing it down while you're putting more in the vortex. And that causes a tension within you because you ask and don't let it come, and ask and don't let it come, and ask and don't let it come. But eventually, you're going to let it come when you croak. When you croak, there's no resistance. But we think it's a good idea if you just softly, with ease, begin practicing some of these things that release or reduce resistance, and let everything from your true heart that you have been asking for show itself to you to the degree that you are able to receive it. Don't take score of how fast anybody else is getting anywhere, because you don't know. You just don't know. You don't know about anyone else. You can only feel your own vibrational relationship to your own allowing or disallowing, to your own satisfaction or dissatisfaction.
Well, I think you answered. That was a concern or a fear that I would be an old man on a deathbed with like, aha, now I know. That, and
not even then. Because you never get it done. We're dead and we don't know it all. We're waiting for you all to have a new experience where you ask a new question. And when you ask a new question, then the law of attraction works the same for non-physical as it does for everyone else. We never get it done. It is really time to embrace that notion. You are eternal, which means never done, never done, never done. And maybe it was the Catholic upbringing, maybe it was the harshness of your childhood that conveyed to you this flawed premise that there's a certain amount that you need to get done, and if you don't get it done, you'll be punished. And it's not like that. It's unpunishable because there's no getting it all done. Two powerful laws of this universe. You cannot get it done, and it's never wrong. You can't get it wrong, and you can't get it done. The reason that it's never wrong is because you can't get it done. In other words, just because you weren't ready doesn't mean you were wrong. It just means you weren't ready. But you can find ways of becoming more ready. We've talked about them a lot as we've been together over time. Go more general on subjects, and it will make you more ready. The more specifically you focus on things that bother you, the more you hold yourself in rigid defiance of them, and the more you slow it down. But the more general statements you make, then the more ready you are, and the more you are able to receive the impulses that allow it to flow. You see, here's the thing. We're going to say this in the most clear way we've ever said it. Because most of you have this image, even with what we have been offering to you. You have this flawed premise image that goes like this. So here I am, and I'll be as good as I can be, aka Catholic, or most any other religion. I'll be as good as I can be, and then someone with the power to assert into my experience will bestow blessings upon me. Flawed premise. Here's how it is. Life will cause me to ask, and I'm completely worthy and capable of receiving. I just have to find the vibe of that. I just have to find the love of that. I just have to find the feeling of that. And so if there is this feeling that I have these things that I need to do before it can come to me, and we get why you think that, because you've been vibrating, we love you so much, sloppily. Because you've been offering sloppy vibration all over the place, because you've been offering your vibration based upon what's loudest rather than upon how it feels. Instead of feeling the warm spots, you're observing warm and cold and commenting on all of them and comparing them and noting them on maps in the neighborhood. You get a sense of what we're talking about rather than gravitating to what feels best. Let us back up and say this again really, really clearly, because it's such an important point that we want you to hear. There is not something outside of you that is looking at you and based upon your behavior deciding about whether to give it to you or not. What you want is always being offered to you. And so what you receive is completely and only about what you let in, not about what's being offered to you. It's only about what you let in. It's only about what you let in. It's only about what you let in. So if you were wanting to translate an old prayer, dear God, please give to me these things that I so much want and need. A more accurate prayer today would be, dear God, please inspire me to the thoughts that cause me to love myself and others enough that I let in the things that I've been asking for, that I know you have been offering to me all along. It's all about you. It's all about you. And the softness of your love. It's all about how much you're willing to love you. And it's the hardest person for you to love. This is true of almost all of you. The hardest person in all of the world, past, present, and future, for you to love is you. So what you want to do is, rather than putting your love meter out there and, every time you turn it toward, look over there. Look at that pretty kitten of a thing. Look at that lovely, lovely thing. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that sunrise. Look at that sunset.